Art helps him like find a place to stay. And he says, Art, I just got contacted from native tribe and uh, the people are called the Basque. I don't know if you know the Basque. It's a region between like France and Spain. It's a little area people call the Basque. It's a small community, but it's very unique. So a lot of Basques settled in Nevada in like the 19th century. So this native tribe is working with the Basque, and they call Mel, and they want him to come out because they found another hole. Story gets weirder from here. So he goes out to like consult with them about the hole, and that hole is different. Mel's hole was about 9 feet around, 9 feet wide with a stone retaining wall. This hole is 9 feet, but it's got this metal collar, and it's metal all the way down as far as the eye can see. And it won't vibrate at all. Like Mel drops a tool or something on it and it doesn't make a sound. It's very, and inside is what Mel described as a fetal seal, like the fetus of a seal with human eyes. And it's looking at them. And they kind of just set this seal looking thing out for a while. They're looking at each other for a couple of hours. And then it eventually kind of inches its way back down into the hole. And once it does that, Mel, who had esophageal cancer, is now cancer-free. Like everyone who was sick in the village is now healed. And the people there think this is some like divine thing that with this, they call it a magic seal. And they believe that it's communicating with them through this radio in like some type of Morse code. They don't know if it's alien language or not. And he's telling Art that I've got pictures of this, I've got recordings of it, I've got all this stuff, photographs. And they finally set up an interview to go over all the evidence, but Mel never shows. And Art is never able to get a hold of him again. And that's kind of where the story ends. And, it starts out like a really interesting story, but the theory, at least what I came up with, was the story just got so, I left out so many crazy details because how much time do we have, that the story was getting so out of hand that I don't think he could keep up with the hoax anymore. And he's just like, I can't, how do you top magic seal fetus that heals cancer? So that was a story that I went into just because I liked, I'm a huge Art Bell fan, and that's a classic Art Bell story. That's one of the top ones. I wish it had a better ending. It's so anticlimactic, but it just was such a fun journey, and it's so many opportunities for jokes in there and stuff. I have a T-shirt on it's one of the most popular shirts. It's I went to Mel's Hole, and all I got was this magic seal fetus. I wear it all the time.
So is the hole there?
So people have tried to find the hole, and a couple of people have said they found it. So I was doing some research. What was very strange was the area where the hole was supposed to be on Terra server, which is like before Google Maps, was all blacked out. It was all like redacted, which is very strange. But later it does show up on Google Maps. So Mel gave a lot of information of that you could probably find it. I found one place that was very compelling because Mel said on his property he had one building that was kind of falling down from snow, and I'm looking at the pictures of the property, and that building is there, and then right across the way is a hole that's 9 feet wide with a stone retaining wall. And I looked at that and I'm like, no way. That I for a second there, I thought this was Mel's hole, but it was investigated. It was just a well, and the property belongs to somebody. But that's one of those stories where I like debunked it, and then I found the pictures. I was like, no.
Damn.
Yeah.
Stuff's crazy, man.
I know this kind of stuff that I talk about, and that's, sometimes the stories just get weirder and weirder, and then they just fall down. That's Mel's hole. Just a crazy story with no strong ending.
Damn. How do you find these?
Well, that was easy to find because as an Art Bell fan, I can name like the top 5 episodes that are my favorites. So Mel's Hole is one. Art Bell fans know that one. They know that one in and out. That's why it's so popular. Art Bell fans don't know me, but they're like, oh, Mel's Hole, I want to hear about that. So I knew about that one already. Most of the other stuff, it's either sent in to me or it's my brother is into all the weird stuff. He goes to the UFO conventions and hangs out with Thomas Jane and Barefoot and talks about UFOs and stuff. He does all that crazy stuff. So he'll say, oh, you gotta look into this, you gotta look into that. And I know if it sounds really stupid that it's gonna be a good one.
Have you looked into Bigfoot?
Yeah, I looked into it. The famous part of Bigfoot is the Patterson film. It looks pretty good. It's the one that I think everyone's seen. You see the Bigfoot, he's kind of walking in the distance. And he looks back over his shoulder. That's the Patterson film. It's pretty compelling, but almost every piece of Bigfoot evidence it's been hoaxed.
Yeah. Sounds like the Loch Ness Monster.
Loch Ness Monster also, I couldn't find any evidence of it. The famous photos, I debunked all of those. It's like
Didn't it? Was it taken in a bathtub or something?
One of those was. It was a bathtub. One was just a boat. People hated that one. But Bigfoot's fun because there's native stories that go back a long time that talk about these giant creatures covered in hair, but they lived interdimensional. So it's like you're not going to go find them because they can just phase into a different dimension.
Yeah.
Which is convenient, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not a Bigfoot guy. Those are called cryptids, which are these creatures that are like outside of, cryptozoology. And I don't like cryptid stories. I do them because people like them. So I covered like all weird creatures, whether it's the Jersey Devil or Bigfoot or Chupacabra or all these creatures. I cover them because people like them. But the evidence always sucks. And my show is not like... When I was starting the channel, looking at these topics, there were two types of channels. There were the ones that were all in, Darren, right? Just everything's true. And it's like, well, yeah, but what about it? It's like, no, true. And then the other stories where you're just people telling these weird stories, but they're like snarky and sarcastic. Like it's condescending. Mm-hmm. I don't want to name any YouTube creators, but you know who you are. And that annoys me because that's just making the story about you, about how smart you are, and I'm stupid because I think this is a cool story. So there was just that. So I said, well, why don't I tell the story and make it fun? And then if anyone wants to stick around for what I found, I'll do that. And most people don't.
You do a damn good job of it.
As soon as I say, but is it true? I see the numbers go, everyone's like, nope, don't care. Don't care.
Oh, man.
No matter where you're watching Sean Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.